Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Steam Prison, and in the last part we got to see Elcrete again. There's never going to be a part of this where we don't mention Elcrete. I'm just saying. I feel like you should know this by now, but anyway, we just saw him in the last part. Love him so much. Anyway, we're in Adage's route, still fawning over Elcrete. I can't help it. I just love the man. And, like, I don't know, he's up there with Van Helsing of, like, my all-time favorite Otome love interests, because what are you gonna do? They're my boys. I love them to death. Anyway, here we are, back in the sewer system. I mean, the tunnels, the sewers, going back home. So, we left Liberalitas the way we had come, through the tunnels. That water looks way too clean to be like a sewer system, is all I'm saying. Like, not that I've been in a sewer, but I just feel like that looks too clean. So, we arrived back in the sanctuary district and walked side by side. I can't see anybody, but I shouldn't drop my guard. We might run into the hounds at any moment. Why are you looking like you own the world? Own the world? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm scanning the surroundings. No need to. There's nobody here. Not anywhere close. I agree, but someone might crawl out of the woodwork. Crawl out of the woodwork. By the way, Adage fell silent and looked at me. Yes? You treated Elcrete like a criminal, didn't you? Someone I knew, Merlot, told me about him. Merlot? Yes, the boy in the little family I stayed with. I see. He told me that Elcrete abducts people. I see. Why are you laughing? You're so strong and stubborn most of the time, but then you get scared of a lizard or believe what a little boy tells you. Is there a problem? Not really. It fits your age, I suppose. But it surprised me. And then now he's talking down to us like we're so young and naive, and yet you're gonna want to bang me in a little bit, Adage. Jesus Christ. Gross. I mean, we're 18, but it's still like, Adage, don't be like, oh, you're so young and naive. I find that sexy. That creeps me out just a little bit. Like, just a little bit. But okay. Wait, anyway. I mean, you could be naive no matter, like, how old you are, but, like, it's still just weird. Anyway. But it surprised me. I thought you'd be less approachable. Adage, I wasn't sure whether to interpret that as a compliment or an insult. The impression I had of you when we first met was also rather different. What did you think about me? Blunt and strange. I still think he's blunt and strange, though. I don't think that's changed. Now it was his turn to ponder his own reaction to that. But you did help me even though you didn't know me. You treated me to really nice food today. You definitely have the heart of a human being. No, I mean, okay, yeah, he's trying for a robot, okay? I have the heart of a human being because I treated you to food? I didn't mean it exactly like that. Don't twist my words. Oh, I will. That's what I do. Okay, Adage, I really do. I do like his person. I like the shit that comes out of his mouth. It's entertaining. Points for Adage for that. I sighed, and he smiled. I know that you're not a bad person, but... Yes? You really need to do something about your cooking. I don't plan on improving, and it's still 100 times better than you, because you can't cook at all. Maybe right now that's true, but you're going to eat those words once I learn how to cook. Well, let's hope you can back that up. I don't have much hope, though. Which is it? You won't regret pining your hope on me. You won't regret pinning your hope on me. Whoops. Wow. But, like, which is it? I don't know, I just don't feel like I understand what she was saying. I mean, that's weird. She's like, which is it? And then she makes a statement that doesn't fit with the, I don't know. Anyway. Fine. I'll hope for something edible, I suppose. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I was, like, spacing when I was reading it. I don't know. Probably. The conversation went on until we arrived back at Adage's house. We stepped inside, pleased that the trip had been uneventful since the attempted robbery in Liberalitas. I'm tired. We entered the first room and Adage put the bag on the table. It made a heavy, metallic sound. I really should have helped him carry it. It was too late to regret not doing it. You also offered several times, but he was like, no, I don't want you breaking it, dummy. I watched Adage stretch his shoulders. Wow, I can't stretch his shoulders. I don't know why my fucking mouth can't. What is wrong with me? When they say shoulders, I can say it, but when it's stretch his shoulder, I don't know why I just, like, get, like, weird tongue-tied lispy when I say that. Like, that's... It happens all the time when I'm reading. Why? Why can't... That is, like, some fucking weird shit, man. I don't know. Anyway, but it happens every time I say shoulders in the game. It's like my tongue doesn't want to work properly. And I've never had, like, a speech impediment, but for some reason, shoulders is a fucking hard word when I'm just trying to read a sentence. I don't know why. That is so fucking bizarre. Well, there you go. You learn something. Like, I've noticed it for a long time, but it's just like one of those things that's like, all right, I just can't read it in a sentence. I don't know. I can say the word like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Or, oh, on my shoulders. I can say things, but when I'm reading a full sentence and I've said a lot of work, and then I say shoulders, it just doesn't, I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't want to come out right. It's just like, I don't know, man. It's fucking weird. Anyway. I have to help you carry next time. This part lately, I've noticed, like, it seems a little awkward with the writing. Like, the translation. Like, we missed a couple of words, but then also, I'll have to help you carry next time. I get what you're saying, but does it sound a little awkward? I don't know. I'm your assistant. Let me help you. I want to be given more work. And then that's fine. But I don't know what. That sentence just seemed weird. Yes, plucking weeds isn't enough. I'll give you more work once I know I can trust you. Trust? Yes. The bag's contents are valuable. I can't hand that over to you yet. Adage opened the bag, retrieving medicine and surgical tools and putting them away in the cupboards. I didn't recognize any of the tools since I was ignorant of medical work for the most part. I applaud your spirit, and now all you have to do is do your work well enough. Make me happy that I hired you. All right, I will. I mean, I could think of a lot of things I could do for you, but, like, she probably wouldn't be down for that because she doesn't know what half of them are, but... Also, it's not that kind of game. Thank God, because, you know, I say these things because I'm an asshole. Yeah, come on, let's say this in a promo. Come on, let's get it on. Woo! And then the second I have to read those scenes, I'm like, this is awkward. Why am I doing this? So, just saying. Good answer. You answer well. Good luck with the rest of the weeds in the garden. I still have to do that? Of course. We need the vegetable garden. But there are lizards. Adage, open up, please! I know that voice. I went to the door and opened it. Oh, okay, so it was Inez, but I didn't know that voice because we don't have the voice acting on, so. He's gravely injured. I want you to save him. And I realized that now it's going to be hard because Adage and Inez kind of started to sound alike at some point, and I don't know, like... Sir Inez was standing outside. I try to, like, just do Adage normal, but then he comes out deeper, and then I'm like, but Inez is deeper. And so I'm, like, trying to, but it just automatically falls into this, whatever, I'm talking like this. And then Inez is like that, and it's like, fuck, it just auto-happened, and I don't know. Like, it didn't happen that way in the very beginning. They had distinct, and now they're just, I don't know. The man around his shoulders was as pale as a corpse. Sir Inez! Why are you here? Never mind. It's not important right now. Adage, one of ours was injured. Please treat him. Why me? Circumstances prevent me from asking the hounds. This is the man. Help him. I won't. I can't. But Adage, I told you, I won't help anyone who can't be saved. He's lost so much blood that it's a miracle he's still alive. I'd give him a peaceful death. I refuse. He told me he wants to live and to return to the heights. I won't end that dream. Is it Finn? Adage, please, treat him. Fine. I'll do what I can, but he's not going to survive. You won't know that until you try. But I do know. Put him down on the medical table there. Okay, and don't worry. He's a good doctor. You'll survive. Thank you. When I could do that. Adage stared at Sir Inez carrying the man. After scratching his head, he opened a cupboard. You're in the way. Both of you outside. Okay, let's go. Sir Inez nudged me towards the door and we left. I turned around and looked at Adage before the door closed. He seemed conflicted and torn. I wished I could stay with him. So it's like interesting because in the bodyguard route, right, we go and we work for Elcreed, right? And then in Elcreed's route, we just spend more time with him. In Ulrich's route, Elcreed's more like, oh, have Ulrich show you how to shoot. Oh, have Ulrich do that. He kind of pushes us toward Ulrich, you know what I mean? Because he's like, oh, you too. Okay. Like, which I think is just adorable because, you know, he hired us because he was like, she's pretty and she's from the Heights and I love her. And like, I'm a slut. And then he was like, you're kind of into Ulrich. That's cute. Let me hook you up. And he was like such a good fucking wingman. Meanwhile, like, if it doesn't work out though, I'm still here. I'm just saying. Like, but it was so cute. But I'm wondering in the prisoner route, when we go down Inez's route, are we still going to go work for Adage, but maybe we spend more time with Inez for some reason? You know what I mean? Because it seems it'd be so hard to see him. I feel like it would need to be different. But it's kind of funny because, like, again, bodyguard route, we were in the same situation, the same scenario. Scenario is literally what was going to come out of my mouth because I was like, situation, scenario, and like, wow. Anyway, so the same scenario, like, where we went to be Elcreed's bodyguard, and then it just varied on who we spent more time with. Here, I think it's weird if we go to work with Adage because how is Inez going to constantly be here? It's kind of far out of the way, you know what I mean? So, curious to see how that plays out. But I know we'll just wait till we get to Inez's route to find out, but these are things that I think about, and I just feel like burdening you with them. Because that's just, I can't keep it to myself. Anyway. Will Adage be alright? I couldn't forget the expression I had seen on his face as I left. It worried me. But if I went in again, I'd only be in the way. I had no medical skills. Some assistant I am. I shook off my doubt and frustration. The thing is like, at some point, you can't be a good medical assistant and help him if he doesn't ever teach you, and you're never going to learn if you're never there to help him. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's got to be put on him. Then I took a deep breath and felt calm again. I need to take a deep breath, God, my shoulders hurt. Sir Inez must be worried for his man as well. He hadn't calmed down since leaving the medical room. He was alternating between standing in thought with his arms crossed and pacing back and forth. Eventually he stopped and hung his head. Is the man you brought your friend, Sir Inez? What do you mean? I was confused by the anger in his voice and fell silent. Oh, I'm sorry. What do you mean? I just didn't feel like he could actually get angry. I mean, yes, he can, but I just figured he's always like, you know, I don't know. I started this conversation, and now I have to finish it. You seem desperate to save him. I thought you might know him well. Can't I be worried even if he's not my friend? Is that wrong? I don't know him very well, but he's one of my men, and I have to help him if he's wounded. Don't you agree? I agree. I'm sorry I asked an obvious question. He was armed. Who was able to wound him so severely? Well, you can't tell me? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked about something that doesn't concern me. I was meaning to ask you earlier, but why are you here? You don't look hurt. I was hired as Adage's assistant. You were? Do you have any medical skills? None at all. I help him around the house for the most part, and I pluck weeds. I see. Well, I'm glad you were able to find a job. Yes, I'm glad too. Sir Inez's voice had softened, and I knew he meant it. I can't stand the hounds. It always surprises me that a good man like him is working for them. I mean, obviously, his original partner did something wrong, but I'm curious as to who his you know what I mean? Like, what Glissade said is basically answered the question that I originally had. Like, some of them are doing, but this is basically saying, like, anytime a cop does anything wrong and gets banished down here, the other one comes down. Okay, fine, but every single one of the you got some seriously corrupt motherfucking cops. That all these hounds exist because their partners did shady shit and got thrown in jail. I mean, I guess if you blink at the wrong time, you end up fucking down in the depths. So, like, their laws are kind of fucked up. So, like, you know, you were walking too fast? Jail. Like, I mean, seriously, like, they got some fucked up laws. So, I guess you don't have to be corrupt. It's like, he yawned in church, and now he's in jail. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like, literally, this is like how the shit works in the Heights. They're kind of fucked up, okay? Like, but it's just really weird that all of them are here because of their partners. So then you wonder, like, I feel like Sasha would have killed his partner. He would have, like, ended up down here and been, like, off with your head because he's, like, a psychopath. But, like, what did Inez's partner do? And, like, does he see that person down here? Does he know that, like, Finn's still searching for us, right? We know that. But, like, you just wonder, like, everybody else that ended up down here because their partner did something. Like, Finn is a different case because he's in love with us. But, like, Inez and his partner, so his partner did something, he ended up down here, and do you think he's like, well, no, it's kind of understandable because, like, you can't help yawning and you yawned in church, and that pissed people off. So, like, but also you'd be like, but, like, fuck, dude, you knew that was gonna happen. Stifle it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how does he feel about this person? And has he seen that person? Does he know where they are? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm really curious about that. Again, logistics and shit that maybe will come up in his route. I don't know. You'd think it would because it's pertinent to why he's down here and pertinent to his life, but it's just shit I'm curious about. I mean, yeah, I'm curious why Adage is down here, but, like, again, he blinked at the wrong fucking time, probably, so. Anyway. Frankly, I thought he was wasted there. Again, his partner did some shit, and that's why he's here, so. We heard the door open and both turned around. As soon as Sir Inez saw Adage, he ran over. Adage, is he... No. But, really? Yes, I did all I could, but he didn't make it. Adage's voice was flat and disinterested. Sir Inez reached out to grab him. At the last moment, he closed his fist, resting it on Adage's chest instead. You don't want to punch me? No, it's my fault. I shouldn't have waited for Sash to leave and brought him here earlier. I was afraid I'd be accused of disobeying orders. Thank you for doing what you could. He's dead. No need to thank me. Also, we weren't here earlier, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference. We literally just walked back in the door. So even if you brought him here 2 hours earlier, we weren't here. So it's not really your fault. Still would have worked out this way. I feel like somebody needs to say that because poor Sir Inez is going to carry this. It's like, I did this. And it would have been like, we put our hand on his shoulder and been like, so we weren't here a couple hours ago. So even if you brought him, we would have only just shown up and the same thing would have happened. So not your fault, buddy. Pats his shoulder. There you go. Perk on up. All right. Anyway. Take the corpse and get the fuck out. I knew it was too much to ask. I was prepared for this. If you did what you could, I can't complain. We don't know that he did. Thank you, Adage. Adage nodded and went back inside. The look on his face, that grimace, was like, I didn't actually do anything. The door was left open. We understood this to mean that we should follow. I was prepared for this, but I wanted him to survive. So I guess it's not Finn. The wind in the night drowned out the rest of what Sir Inez said. Because he wants to go back to the Heights, but you know that's not possible. Like poor Inez. He's actually a dreamer deep down underneath, isn't he? Inside, Adage was standing near one of the walls. The man was no longer breathing. He was wrapped in a blood-stained blanket. I wonder if Adage had really done all he could. Surgical implements were scattered on the medical table and on the floor. Adage's clothes were smeared with blood. He looks like he pretended to try if he didn't actually do anything. Sir Inez closed the door carefully. Adage picked up a sheet of paper from one of the other tables. And the cause of death is blood loss from... Well, you can see the wound yourself. Based on the wound, the attacker showed no hesitation or guilt. Very severe. Who would do this? What should be done with the body? When our men fall in the line of duty, their families in the Heights are contacted, and they decide whether they want to accept the corpse, but generally they refuse. We are abandoned when we're assigned to the hounds. So sad. Sir Inez looked at the man as if asking himself whether this family would be different. Could you imagine? Like, so in our case, okay, so like, let's just take our case, whatever. Our marriage was called off, whatever. But like, Finn had an arranged marriage and all that stuff, and his life was happy. We get accused of murdering our parents. He gets sent down here. His whole life, like even if he wasn't in love with us, let's say he was like, oh, okay, well, I've got this fiance and my life's going to be cool and like, you know, whatever. And he's okay with the arranged marriage because I guess you're not allowed to not be okay with it, right? You get thrown down in jail if you are not okay with it. But like, he wasn't in love with us, say. Let's just say he was happy and like, oh, my fiance's a great person and it'll be fine. Us doing something wrong ripped him away from all that. He is now down here. So like, that could be like any one of them down here. Maybe that's why Sasha's such a dick. You know, it was always like, who hurt you? Did someone you love die? Oh my God, no, your partner did something wrong and now you're down here and maybe someone you loved, like maybe you had a wife and shit and she just like moved on with her fucking life because you're trash now, like to everyone in the Heights. Like, oh my God, that's so fucking awful. Like, Jesus Christ. It's fucking awful. Doesn't really excuse you from being like a murdery, rapey kind of douchebag, but like, I mean, I understand where you might snap, but like, holy shit. And like Inez, like, he's down here, it's like our family's abandoned us. Like, my parents were actually nice and I liked my family and now they hate me. That sucks. I mean, fuck, man, that's heavy and sad. We'll find out when we get to his route. Anyway. Sir Inez looked at the man as if asking himself whether this family would be different. It seems he told his family that he would return. They might accept his corpse. I mean, he is returning, sort of. I can't tell you anything about that. He's only going to start rotting here. Decide what you want done with him. Adage, please try to be more civil. No, it's fine. He's right. Can I leave him here for the night? I'll send someone to collect him in the morning. Okay, I'll put him in the storage shed next to the house. Thanks. I'm in your debt. Adage is like, I mean, like, for real, I don't do this for free. Sir Inez, nobody could resurrect the dead, but... Adage, did you really have to be so unfriendly to him? Does it matter? I can sugarcoat it, but this guy isn't coming back. I'm not gonna waste time on that. He's such a fucking robot, and I kinda love it. Waste time. Uh-huh. He was a doctor. Dealing with death was a normal part of his work. Perhaps that was why it didn't affect him the way it did me. No, I think he's just shuts himself down. Besides, I can't blame him. He had gone out of his way to try to save a life he couldn't save. He had done all he could have for Sir Inez. He probably feels guilty, like he did when he hired me. Adage folded the paper, put it on the table, and rolled up his sleeve. From a drawer, he retrieved a rough spun piece of cloth and nudged it under the corpse. Do you dispose of corpses as well if you can't treat them? Leaving them unattended would be a source of disease. I don't care about the sanctuary district, but I keep this area clean. There's nothing you can do. Go to bed. Adage. Good work. Good night. I'll help you, I think is what we should say, but let's, that's wrong. I'll help you is the wrong fucking answer. Interesting. I wonder if it's because, like, he's just it's because he's telling us, like, go to bed. If he wanted our help, he would straight up be like, all right, grab the other end of this. You know what I mean? And if part of him is also, I need to do this by myself to, like, deal with, like, we think he's emotionless, but we know he's got guilt and whatever, and maybe deep down he's like, oh, it kills me. I know I couldn't save him, and that's why I didn't want to try, because when I try and I fail, even though I knew it was impossible, it hurts me. You know what I mean? So I kind of wonder if that's a little bit about it, but... And maybe if we say, I'll help you, he's like, I don't want you to help me, because I need my alone time. And like us, okay, just giving him that alone time is better. You know what I mean? So good work. So I would never be able to woo over Adage. Fucking Elcreed's easy. Adage is like fucking difficult. You're like, okay, but good work. Pats on shoulder. Okay. Adage looks tired. I was hoping there might be something I could help with, but it looked like I was only in the way. I understand. Good night. And good work, Adage. Yes, you too. I didn't do any work. I'm not tired either, as you can see. And you walked a long way. Must have been exhausting. Don't stay up late. All right. You're like my mother. What? Your father, if anything, right? Are you getting gender correct? My mother was the stricter one when it came to my upbringing. Good night, Mother. No, your father. I just like how you're like my mom, and he's like, I think you mean you're a dad because I have a dick. And you're like, no, like, you're like my fucking mom. Good night, Mom. And he's like, be like your dad if I don't believe you're calling me your mom. Oh, that's so funny. I closed the door and looked at the clock. Like, look, there are personality types that you're the mom figure and you're the dad figure. And, like, your dad figure can be more like your mom figure and your mom figure can be more like your dad figure. It's just, I mean, honestly, that's, like, gender stereotyping. But, like, if you think about the quintessential, like, mom things, dads can absolutely do that. But then you're like, well, so my mom is more like the dad role and the dad's more like the mom role in what we consider standard roles. You know what I mean? Again, we shouldn't do that because, you know, it's so you stay home with the kids and you cook. What are you, gay? What are you like, whatever. Like, men can cook, men can wear pink, you can wear a fucking apron, you can stay home and take care of your kids, and your wife can work. Doesn't make you any less of a man. But we see those as stereotypical, like that's the women's role, stay-at-home moms, and she cooks and she cleans, like the 1950s housewife shit. Like, you know, so you're like, well, so my dad's like my mom and my mom's like my dad. And you could have two dads and one's like, well, he does more of the mom stuff and he does more of the dad stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's also too depending on the dynamic in your family. If your dad was always the stay-at-home parent who did all the cooking and the cleaning and your mom was the one who worked all the time and like, well, you know, whatever, and supported the family that way, then when you looked at other people, you'd be like, you're like my dad. And people would be like, what? And you're like, yeah, you know, because you like cook and you take care of me and you like nurture me. And they're like, wait, what? Like, so in this case, my mom was more strict. So you're my mom. And he's like your dad. And you're like, no, because your personality matches what my mom was like. Not because you're a woman. Like, so our mom wasn't her typical mom. She actually didn't cook or clean. We had servants for that shit. So I closed the door and looked at the clock. He's still like fucking griping about that. He's just gonna like 10 minutes later. Not your fucking mom. It's already late at night. Time passes so quickly. I took my blankets and sat down on the sofa. When I laid down, I could feel my fatigue washing over me. It was a long day, now that I think about it. I had plucked weeds from the garden, and then we had gone to Liberalitas. Sir Inez came here to have the man from the hounds treated. We were picking weeds in the garden, and I'm sorry, but like, unless you're like really fucking good at that shit, most people get really dirty and sweaty doing that. Could we have taken a bath? I feel gross. Just when she was like, oh, we're gonna go to Liberalitas. Are you gonna wash at all? Because you're probably sweaty and gross and dirty right now. Fucking A, take a bath. Oh my god. This is not like, well, I sat at home inside all day, and okay, fine, but like, you were outside doing physical labor, you're gonna get sweaty. Please bathe. It's bugging me, and now she's sleeping in her sheets, like, not bathing. Like, after being dirty and sweaty. Gross. Anyway. Sir Inez came here to have the man from the hounds treated. I closed my eyes, remembering. There had been only one deep wound, but it killed him. The attacker must have cut without hesitation. He must have hated the man. It was a skilled cut, so why didn't he kill him? It was needless cruelty. It was needlessly cruel. Wow, I read that wrong. Because I was literally in my head thinking, like, I wonder if Finn killed him. Because we know that Finn's like a psychopath, right? Looking for us. Ah! And like, maybe that guy had our necklace. All I'm saying. I was facing up, looking at the ceiling. Because it was definitely a sword that killed him, and who else in the Sanctuary District has swords? Unless it was Sashin that did it. because he was angry, and that's why Inez waited. You know what I mean? I don't know. The men from the hounds are armed. I can't believe someone killed one. He must have been really unpopular. There were probably others with a conscience in there, just like Sir Inez, but in a uniform, they all look the same. Yes, they all look the same if you don't know them. It was the same with the area beyond the wall. Before Adage had taken me there, I had thought it was a place at least as bad or worse than the Sanctuary District. But it wasn't. It's an advanced civilization, densely populated. I learned so many things in such a short time. I expected I would learn even more that upended my assumptions. There's so many surprises here compared to the Heights. But not all revelations were going to be positive. I had to be careful. Are we going to get Adage's perspective? I'm really hoping. Hell yeah! I kind of figured it would. I gotta see some. I closed the door of the storage shed behind me and steadied myself against it. And the body was laid out inside it now. I'd used a hand cart, but it had still been a lot of work. I wiped the sweat off my cheeks with the back of my hand and looked up. The sky was as gray and heavy as usual. I couldn't see the stars. Not a single one. The stink is horrible. It was a stench of death clinging to me. No amount of washing could clear it. It was stuck to my very soul. That's why I didn't want to do it. I shouldn't have tried to operate. I knew he was going to die. I knew I couldn't prolong his life. The result had been preordained. Nothing I could have done would have changed it. I'll never get those supplies back, but more than anything, it hurts to lose another life. I feel like that, like I said, I think that was part of it too. Like, he knew he couldn't save him, and if he was like, nope, can't save him, not going to try, then it's different. It's like, okay, that man was going to die anyway, he couldn't do anything, but you try to save him and he dies and you feel guiltier because you actually couldn't do anything, as opposed to you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a weird fucking thing in your head. You'd think you'd feel guiltier, like, I didn't try and he died and I feel guilty, maybe I could have, but you know in your head, there's nothing I can do, he's gonna die. So he dies. Okay. But then you're trying to save him and he dies and you're like, what the hell? I tried. Shouldn't something better have happened? And it's like, makes you feel worse. I feel like it's like a weird fucking thing in your head. Like, well, if I don't try, I know I'm going to be disappointed. But if I try and I become disappointed, then it sucks more. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. The fleeting remnants of and the fleeting remnants of his life had run through my fingers like sand. And there was no way to hold on to it, and so it had slipped away. Could I have saved him with better medical tools? And with better medical skills? I didn't know. And there was no objective observer to tell me. It's all over now. Can't change it. That's why I hate this. A doctor's job is saving lives. Being unable to save a life. Being reminded of my limitations. I hate that. I hate being reminded of my shortcomings. I hate my own inability. Well, your shortcoming is that you're a robot. Did you not want me to tell you that? Sorry. I had to learn more. I had to be better, and perhaps I could save one more life that I couldn't otherwise. That's my reason to keep going. Aw. He's so, like, broken inside. It's morning already. Warm light washed over my eyelids. I opened them slowly. I sat up and stretched. Sunrise had been a few hours ago and warm rays of light came in through the window. I slept in. Feeling hungry, I stood up. Where's Adage? Oh. The sound of steady breathing came from his bed. There was a book by his pillow. He had fallen asleep reading. I didn't hear him come in last night. Is he fast asleep? He didn't wake as I approached. His expression is so peaceful. I want a CG of him sleeping peacefully. Like, come on. His breathing was even and quiet. It calmed me down as well. I'm thirsty. I'll drink some water. I left the room, careful not to wake Adage. Ha ha! He is asleep and he cannot stop me from cooking! It really is very clean. I drank water from a cup and looked around the room. Hold on, I have an itch. Sorry. The medical equipment was the only standout feature. There were no scraps of paper lying around. Everything was strictly organized. There was nothing to remind me of the corpse that had lain on the examination table. All the blood had been wiped away. He did all the cleaning himself. It must have taken some time, and I bet he was fucking happy as shit doing it. I had offered to help him, but he hadn't let me. I need to build his confidence and trust in me so that I can help him. I'm getting hungry. But this isn't my house. I shouldn't touch anything. Actually, maybe this is an opportunity. I think he put all the cooking pots over here. Oh, yes. You know what? After you cook and he's not awake, you need to go in there with a frying pan and a spatula. Bang, bang, bang! And then he's gonna freak out and you'll be like, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Stop. Adage is asleep right now. I can cook while he's... No, you can't. Adage! Good morning. How long were you standing behind me? Good morning. Say it. All right. Good morning? Yes, good. You don't have the right to cook yet. Don't act without permission. Okay? I'm sorry. So, what were you trying to steal? I wasn't trying to steal anything. I was trying to cook. It's morning. You ate a lot yesterday. You have a greedy stomach. I'm a little envious. Huh! When did you wake up? I didn't hear you. Adage shrugged and said noise had woken him. I heard something and caught a thief. If you want something to eat, wake me up. A thief? I don't want to give you more work. I wanted to let you sleep. I'm not a thief! That's what I want to say, but that's the neutral answer. I wanted to let you sleep is the nice thing, but like... I mean, I feel like that's a given, but I'm not a thief! Like, I want to say that! I'm sorry, Adage. I didn't want to disturb your sleep. I appreciate that, but it isn't necessary. I don't need a lot of sleep. He doesn't need a lot of sleep. He doesn't need a lot of food. He doesn't have a lot of emotions. He's a fucking robot! There is a point where we are going to actually have to, like, rewire some circuits, and we're going to be like, you're not normal. He's like, no, I am a robot that somebody made in the Heights, but I'm an abomination, so they sent me down here because Yune was offended by robots. I'm just saying, he's a fucking robot. Really? Yes. Doctors are that sort of creature. Someone might bring a patient in at any moment, like yesterday. Yesterday, what happened to the corpse? What I said would happen. The hounds picked it up while you were sleeping. Did you see them come? Of course. I didn't want them rummaging through my shed. Then, when did you go to sleep? Because he said they were going to come today. He literally slept for like 10 minutes ago. That doesn't concern you. I know my limits. If I tell you that I'm fine, then I'm fine. I see. Well, don't overwork yourself, Adage. Of course not. At any rate, I'll prepare the food now. I'll do it, not you. Sit quietly over there. Okay. He's so fucking cold. I do actually kind of love him a little. Again, he's not Elk Creed. Come the fuck on. Like, Elk Creed shows up and I'm pushing Adage out of the motherfucking way. Adage, you off the boat. There's only room. You're off the island. There's only room on this tiny little island for me and Elk Creed. But while we're alone and I don't have Elk Creed, I mean, I don't dislike you. I actually kind of enjoy him because I like the robot characters. We know this. I like my glasses characters. If they're a glasses asshole or a glasses sweet. Look, if they have glasses, I like them. I like the weirdos, and Elk Creed was definitely the weirdo. Sometimes the sluts are enjoyable. That was Elk Creed, so, I mean, but again, glasses, weirdo, happened to be the slut character. Fucking love him. But I love the robots. Glasses characters, usually good. Especially if they're the glasses asshole and they slam me against a wall. You know how much I love that. Kind of like the weirdos a lot of the time. But the robots are usually like, Saito was a fucking robot, Shojiro was a fucking robot, fucking Adage is the fucking robot. I like the fucking robots. I just do. I don't know why. I think it's the Sherlock Holmes thing. Because I always loved Sherlock Holmes when I was a kid. I loved reading those. And he actually, if you think about it, is kind of a robot. Like, so I dig that. I'm sure there's like some kind of Japanese technical name for these characters, but I prefer to call them robots, okay? Everything else is too confusing for me. He's a robot. That's all that matters. Anyway, Hey, yes? Do you know what sit means? Yes? Then why are you standing next to me? You're in the way. Sit on a chair over there. Why can't I stand over here? I want to watch you cook and learn. Your cooking lacks flavor, Adage, so I'd like to be able to cook instead. Very commendable, but no. Absolutely not. Get away from me. Sit over there. Why? Observation is a perfectly acceptable way to learn. What good will learning from me do if you're trying to learn how to cook better than I can? Well, if I'm allowed to watch you cook, then if I'm not allowed to watch you cook, then how am I ever going to learn cooking? None of my business. I might let you use the kitchen someday. Then you'll have to figure something out. The point is, watching me is a waste of time, and I don't want your cooking to be just as bad as mine. That makes sense. All right, I'd be like, yeah, but I'll watch what you do and learn what not to do. Like, see how you just lit the grilled cheese on fire and we're all gonna die? That's how you don't cook a grilled cheese, Sims. I know, I'm blurring my games, but I'm just saying. I'm glad you agree. It does annoy me a little that you're just accepting it without comment, though. Do you know what sit means? Uh-huh. Then go fucking sit. No, but if I watch you, I'll learn. No. Okay, fine. Aren't you gonna protest? I fucking... Flips fucking desk in anger. What the fuck, Adage? Why? Why are you... Which flip-flop are you today? Are you the left one or the right one? Fuck. I love it, though. It's fun. Slowly but surely, food began to appear in front of me. The quality aside, Adage certainly knew how to cook with many different ingredients. Eggs had been manipulated. Meat had been tinkered with. Some green stuff had been chopped. Oh, good. The water tastes like water. Well, at least the water isn't going to kill me. He's looking at me and you're like, is it? Maybe? I don't know. Based on what I can see from here, the elements used in the cooking seem normal enough. Which means it's just the preparation that's so badly awry. So the next conundrum is how I go about earning the right to cook. You're thinking out loud. I bet good money that the nobility are the only people who care so little how they seem to others. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say that to get an apology from you. I was merely astonished. I only talk with nobility because of my work when I was in the Heights. Your work? Yeah, I was employed at a hospital. A lot of different kind of patients came in. Adage aimed something vaguely egg-themed at his mouth and set both elbows on the table. Hey, why did they exile you? From the Heights? Yeah, why did they exile you? I'm not telling you that, then why should I fucking tell you? Yes, to the sanctuary district. You must have committed a crime. And did you leave a restaurant without paying? I murdered my parents. He's like, I mean, I didn't actually do it, but that's why I'm here. I wouldn't do that. I was indicted on false charges, but I didn't want to talk about that. But Adage is helping me, and I owe him something. He was probably going to be taking care of me for some time yet. I couldn't lie to him. I was sent here for the murder of my parents. Your parents? Yes, the charges were false. I didn't kill my parents. Really? Of course. I loved both my father and my mother from the bottom of my heart. I loved my family. Who would harm their family? And Adage is like, so I'm just gonna go. I'm just kidding. Some people do. I assumed you were implying that no human being would kill their family. But not everyone is on good terms with their parents. I'd say the majority aren't. That's depressing. But they aren't. I'm a doctor. I've seen children abused by their parents. Besides... Yes? Nothing. Anyway, I don't think you killed them. Your upbringing was most likely peaceful and harmonious, and they must have loved you in return. Or at least I think so. Yes, they always wanted the best for me. But at the time that always seemed so normal to me, and I took it for granted. I was grateful, but I didn't show it sufficiently. I gotta sneeze. Sorry, it's like been raining for days, and rainy days make my allergies act up. Sometimes you only realize the value of what you had after it's gone. If you didn't kill them, who did? Do you know? No, I have no idea. I had no chance to investigate that or prove my innocence. I was exiled immediately. I mean, our father was a politician, right? So I have something feeling it has something to do with that. And I wonder if it was like our fiance's dad, because he seems to be the antagonist who was going to kill Elk Creed. And I'm just wondering. He's like the only person, aside from Finn, that it could really be. Without it being like Yune going, oh, I had your parents killed because like whatever reason, weird church, strange fucking cult bullshit that's going on up in the Heights. And you know what I mean? I just feel like it's possible, but then I'm supposed to fall in love with Yune after he did that bullshit? Like, no. You know what I mean? Finn, I don't know why he would have done it though. But then again, knowing Finn, it would have been, well, I did it because then we'd both get sent down to the Heights and then we could be together. We get sent down to the depths, sorry. And we could be together. Because, I mean, he acts kind of crazy in Elk Creed's route. But, like, and then you wouldn't find out in his route, right? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm assuming we'll find out, but anyway. I had no chance to investigate that or prove my innocence. I was exiled immediately, which sounds more like something that our ex-fiance's father would do. You know what I'm saying? But can you accept that? Can you accept being blamed for someone else's crime? Blamed for the murder of your parents? Of course not. I want to go back to the Heights and clear my name. But I know it's going to be hard to accomplish that. I have to focus on what I can do right now. Here. You've given me a chance and I don't want to waste it, Adage. A chance? Yes, a chance to live. For the time being, I'm only pulling out weeds, but eventually, I want to convince you that I can do other things. I lost my family and my home, but I won't lose my pride. I need to leave the past behind me and find a way into the future. If I work to improve and learn new skills, then eventually an opportunity will open up for me. I don't think so. Adage said nothing, simply looking at me. The fact that I had no idea what he was thinking made me nervous. Well, declaring all that is the easy part. Now I need to see it through. It must sound pretty ambitious from a freeloader. I'm a little embarrassed at myself. That's all right. I envy your ability to let go of the past. Adage? His expression was cloudy. It disconcerted me. Why were you sent here, Adage? You must have committed a crime if they exiled you to the sanctuary district. There's a doctor in the Heights. Doctors deal with death every day. That's all I want to say. I see. I know that it's hard for him to talk about. I wanted to know what happened, but I also didn't want to ruin our relationship with curiosity. You know what's really funny, though? You asked me what I did, and I told you. And if I had said, I don't want to talk about it, I doubt that you would have accepted that as the answer. But you don't want to talk about it as an acceptable answer for you to give me. Just calling you on your bullshit, all I'm saying. But if we didn't tell him, if he told us, it wouldn't, that's part of the mystery. But his statement, like, I'm a doctor, I deal with death every day, that's all I want to say. I feel like maybe you know, it was somebody in a high position's family member that you couldn't save, and then they were like, malpractice! You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, you get on the wrong side of the people, and like, whatever our ex-fiance's dad's, I don't even remember his name. What was his name? Anyway, his, it started with an F, because it's not Finn, but it was, something else. I want to call him Flanagan, but that's not right. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, you get on the wrong side of that dude and look at where we are. Like, I'm just saying. I bet there was a lot of people in the sanctuary district. Well, first of all, we know Rylith. She loved the wrong person. Well, that seems kind of bullshit. But I guarantee you, you looked at me wrong and I just don't like your face. They stole something from me. And, like, the rich people. But, yeah, so maybe that's why Adage gets pissed when he can't save people, because, like, somebody dying is what got him sent here for some bullshit reasons. You know, I don't know. But we've seen a lot of people down here for bullshit reasons. So, anyway. Plus, I highly doubt that they would be like, he was like, oh, no, I actually murdered someone, like, on purpose, because, like, I didn't like their face. oh, okay, we love you anyway. You know what I mean? Like, Ulrich and Elkree were born here, so, like, they didn't do anything to get sent down here. They were just born here. It's who they are. Adage was sent down here for some reason. I highly doubt that they would make him, like, a complete and utter fucking criminal that we're supposed to be in love with. But maybe. But you know what I mean? I feel like, in general, if you wrote that story, it'd be kind of a turnoff. You'd be like, oh my god, you actually murdered puppies. I'm supposed to love you? The fuck? You know what I mean? Although, look at all the shit Finn did, and I'm supposed to want the route that you... But I have a feeling his route would have been the first route. You know, where it's like, oh, it's nice and Finn's so great because he seems so great and wonderful. And then you get him in Elkreed's route and you're like, oh my god, you're fucking psycho. Holy shit, no. But I bet he wasn't in his route. So, anyway. Okay. Instead, I continued eating in the hopes that one day he would tell me. We'll find out. This taste, though... I swore to myself that I would learn how to cook. I finished my breakfast. All right, time to pull out some weeds. I was in the vegetable garden trying to fire myself up. Ah, what a glorious assistant I was, pulling out weeds. This is my job now, so I have to do it properly. Little by little, I'll earn his trust. My fingers closed around the little shovel. I'd learn how to sense how deep the roots ran by how much resistance I felt against the shovel. I'll turn into a gardener at this rate. I needed to boost my confidence so I could tackle my enemies in the garden. Oh, another flower. It's beautiful. Too bad I have to remove it as one of the weeds. I'm working hard, I see. Adage. Okay, he just comes up and tilts his head at us. I imagine that he does. He just slides up kind of awkwardly and stares at us like this, and you're like, why do you stand so weird? Refreshments for you. Thank you. Ah! Adage knelt down beside me and pressed something against my face. It's a fucking lizard, isn't it? I have refreshments, lizard! What are you fucking 12? What the fuck? It was cold and uneven. Ah! A lizard! And I thought my eardrums were gonna burst, and I was pretty deep. No allure at all. Allure? Don't women usually shriek if this happens? You should try being girlier. Everyone screams the same way! Adage had set the lizard free, and now it was perched on my shoulder, motionless. Take it away, please? You're a scaredy cat, aren't you? Like a little kid. That's why when he said refreshments and she screamed, I was like, it's a lizard, because I saw this choice. You're more childish than I am, and I was like, you fucking... I want to say that, but like, please take it away. That's actually funny. I'll take it away myself. You'd think would be the positive one, but it's the negative one. Like, please take it away. Like, we're relying on you. He's like, I just love how he did it. He's like, you don't scream girly enough. The fuck? But please take it away. The fearsome creature was gone, or so I thought. Adage adjusted his grip on the lizard and pressed its mouth against my cheek. Here you go. Ah! Yep, that really isn't cute. Definitely the worst scream I've ever heard. The worst scream? What does that mean? I'm a doctor. I hear more screams than most. Okay, this is where you're like, it's just got a little dark and creepy. Like, yeah, that's not a good scream. You like the sound of screaming? Like, you want my scream to be cute? This is a little disturbing. Funny, but disturbing underneath. Like, I'm laughing on the surface, but deep down I'm like, it's a little creepy though. Like, that makes sense. Wait, no it doesn't! Why is it on my shoulder again? Take it away! Fine. See, it's gone. You went too far. I love the adorable look on his face. He's like, I'm being cute and adorable. No, you're torturing me, fucking weirdo. It was in Adage's palm again, much to my relief. Feel like eating it? No? How can you touch it like it's made out of stone? I told you I use these for medicine. Besides, this guy is harmless. He doesn't hurt anyone. He doesn't fly. He doesn't talk. I like him more than people. I very much prefer human beings. It scares me. I actually think lizards are kind of cute, so, like, this bugs me that she's annoyed by lizards. But, you know, hey, she has to be scared of something for him to torture her like this, so. Why are you scared of it? Other lizards are a lot bigger than this one. Really? Yes. They can be as long as my arm and as high as your waist. But they're faster than they look. It's hard to pin them down. My waist? I looked at my waist and realized something. How do you know that? They don't live here in the garden, right? No, they don't. But they live in the tunnels that lead to the depths. That sounds like fucking Godzilla or some shit. Like, what kind of fucking, like, weird-ass goddamn, like, fucking Komodo dragons or some shit do you have living in your sewers? Oh my god, are you talking about alligators? There's alligators! They wouldn't be that tall. That's fucking tall. Unless she's short. I don't know. Really? Now I can't go back there. It's weird how this part of you is so feminine. Don't say that. I am female. This is payback for calling him our mom, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's right. Totally forgot that. I just put the lizard on the ground and stood up. I'm going into the town to stock up ingredients for medicine and food. Come with me. Okay. I stood up and shook off the dirt on my clothes. You go to the sanctuary district for some things then. Oh, you go to the sanctuary district for some things then? Basically, okay, that's what, yeah, better. Yes, the quality's better in the depths, but also more expensive. I try to buy whatever I can here. Follow. I will. Oh! What is it? Can I bring this flower as a tribute to Rylith and Merlot? A flower? It's a weed, right? It is to you, but flowers are still flowers. Look how beautiful and cute it is. How can you see it as a weed? I have no need for it, nor does anybody else. Bringing it is no point. Well, why? The corpses are already gone, I assume. There's nothing there. Why put a flower there? I know that, but I want to express mourning for them. I couldn't properly mourn for my parents. I want to mourn for these two at least. Am I really not allowed? Nobody's gonna turn you down after so much pleading. Fine. Thank you very much. Give me a little time. I need to remove the flower. A little time, huh? Flowers. What a total waste of time this is. And this is where I'm going to stop it because we're almost at time and this could be a few minutes and like whatever. So I'm going to wrap this part up here and we will continue laughing at Adage being tormenting us because, like, my god, the only thing that's girly about you is your fear of lizards. It's fucking weird. He's such a fucking weirdo. I mean, I don't hate him. I don't. He's not going to be Elcreed. But I actually... He's got more personality than I kind of thought. Because, like, you can't really tell just from, like... Okay, look, that's not true. I can tell from looking at a character, i.e., looked at Elcreed and went, I'm going to fall in love with him. I love him and I don't care. And I did. But, like, none of the other ones really stood out like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? But so far I really do like all the characters. They're all kind of something different. And I liked our banter with Ulrich, so I enjoyed his route. And I actually kind of like Adage so far. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.